I'm really pushed in my heart to talk about this because, of course, life is a continuum and a lot of people are suffering for things they don't know nothing about. And some of them have been going for all kind of spiritual things to get out of it, because you actually notice that the kind of responses and things you're seeing are not ordinary. I used to have a friend, he's late now, Mike. Mike was having an accident almost every time until he finally died in an accident. And some people will go for deliverance, go for church, whatever, and then people who are not Christians, they will go for some occultic practices, all in an attempt to clear their ways so that things will be normal. Some will sow strong seeds in the name of trying to get favor from men and from God. But the intention of God when He is creating man is that man should have an exciting experience here. That where there is nothing limiting him, where he will have excitement and then pursue his interests. And then on the process, there will be some issues that could come out from his pursuance of this interest, and then he solved them. But our life has become so complex that we suffer. A lot of people suffer for things they don't know about. There is the concept of near success syndrome. And then some other people, when they get to a place where it could be like they are beginning to see breakthrough, all of a sudden one thing happens and then they are taken aback again. I really don't ask people to share my video, but because of what I'm going to talk about today, I would want anybody who wants to help other people to actually share this video, because many people are suffering for what they don't know anything about. And it's not an area that our clergy and people who do all the spiritual teachings have taken time to study. Yes, they gamble through it and then gamble through it, but we have not really had a good study in it. But this is very, very real. It is one of the things that I understood, or I began to study a lot more on it, and then it began to change my life. That there are so many things I will not ordinarily do. It doesn't matter what the exposure, what the pressure, because I already know that doing those things is not as free as they look. I'm simply going to be talking about natural laws today. And if you find any way that you feel that you can ask me a question, I guess you can go ahead and do that. Okay? Yeah. When I was a child, my grandmother told me a story, and that story never left my head, about a family. And in that family now, there is no man. And they had a lot of men, but all the men are dead. And the place where they lived there is one big tree there, a very massive tree. You know, some of this big tree, and then the tree has taken so much part of the space that is conspicuous. And then my grandmother told me that tree was part of their fence. And what happened? She told me that the man and his brother was dragging over a particular land, and this land was an issue for too long. After some time, the man now told his brother that let's stop fighting about this land. Let's make a treaty. Let's have peace. And the brother thought he was sincere. Okay, the man was sincere, so to say, but his children had a different plan. Now, the man invited his brother's children and his brother and they came to finalize the treaty so that there won't be any quarrel. They would have mapped out how they are going to share the land. And then at the middle of the night, this thing sounds like a story, but it's real. At the middle of the night, the children of this other man who hosted his brother got up and killed the 5 men that came from the other side to represent the brother. And he said they shouldn't have done that. But that's as far as he could go. Now, this family that killed this other family, that place that event took place is where this big tree is now. And there is no man in their own family. They all died naturally. And when my grandmother told me that story, she would say to me, don't ever do evil, because evil has a payday. It doesn't matter who did it. And it doesn't matter how much you cover it. The truth is that evil has a payday, as well as good has a payday. If our world should understand the power of sowing and reaping, a lot of evil things that are happening in our time will not happen. And when I try to talk to people about these things, a lot of people don't understand it because it is not very popular. There are laws, just like every other system that have people in them. Like if you go to school, there are laws that guide the school. There are laws that guide churches. Everywhere that you see people gather, there are laws. And the same way, the owner of the world, when he created the world, he also set some laws in place. Even though these laws are like codes written in our hearts. And if you're a religious person or a spiritual person, you may have come in contact with some of these laws in the Bible, in the books. We are not created to just live and do anything we like and say anything we want to say. That is not how we are created. We are created to live orderly and be able to help each other and love and care for each other. But unfortunately, the world has seen that as weakness. So there are laws, and the strange thing is that these laws also have an enforcement system, some kind of police system that actually ensures that these laws are followed all through. Sometimes because we don't see them, we don't know that there are things like that, but the truth remains that there are things like that. You can't just do anything and then you go free. If you begin to smoke crack, you're very likely to lose your head. Yes. And then, okay, for a young girl that decides that she cannot be controlled by her parents, she's likely to get, pregnant on the way. Everything you do, if you throw stone up, it is sure to come down. These things are natural laws. It's true that we have been able to pick the ones that interest us, like the law of attraction is very popular because we talk about it. It has to do with getting money. That's true. But that's not all about the law of attraction. You can equally attract some bad things to yourself. Do you understand? By just continuously thinking about it according to the law. That what you think about has a way of coming to you, which I believe strongly, but some of us have also thought good things. How come it has never come to us? There are other laws. There is while you're talking of the law of attraction, there is the law of positioning yourself right. There is also the law of, clogging your mind. When you clog your mind with all kind of negative emotions, wickedness and hatred and stuff like that, you could be practicing law of attraction and nothing comes to you. Because each time the things are coming, there is hatred in your heart that is resisting it. There is wickedness in your heart that is resisting it. These things are simple for us to understand. I've also talked about the law of value. Anything you don't have value for, don't expect it. You understand? Whatever you are expecting should be things that you are celebrating in other people's life. Things that make you happy when you see other people who have it too. Those things you don't need to do too much to have them. But if you see them in other people's life and you are in anger and jealousy and strife, it is difficult for those things to naturally come to you. These laws are not hidden, and they are not just some excitement in my thought. They are real, and if you take time to understand them, you can make your life a lot more easier. Yes, you make your life a lot more easier, because when the coast is cleared, you find out that things become easier. Some people will be on a queue for something, and then when it's their turn, bam, they ask them to leave. I mean, just think about it. I won't want to start talking about this because we won't end here today. But let's have this while I'll still come your way next time.